Welcome back. It is 1 o'clock here on this Thursday afternoon. The closing arguments are underway in the trial of Judge Hannah Dugan. This is our Wisconsin Live Desk coverage. Judge on trial, Fox 6 investigator Brian Polson, myself, Carl Deffenbaugh, here with you for the next few hours. We've been here noon to 4 each and every day during this trial that has received such attention from all across the country, certainly here in Milwaukee. Such big names. Ted joked about the small walkie effect inside of that federal courthouse in downtown Milwaukee. That is for sure. Well, we are very honored to have someone that we have been very excited to talk to on today of all days.
Speaking of who's who.
Yes, indeed. That would be Jim Santel, the former U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Wisconsin. You have provided such wonderful legal analysis for us throughout the week, and we are both really looking forward to this because this is it, right? These are closing arguments, both sides' final chance to lay out to those juries, try to sway a mind here or there, and we're getting, I would imagine you would agree, some really high-level lawyering happening downtown.
Absolutely. It started on Monday, continues right until this very moment, as you're saying, Carl. These are opportunities. This is closing argument, as you accurately said, unlike the opening statements, where simply sort of roadmaps for what the parties think is going to happen during the course of the trial. Now we've got these opportunities from both the prosecution, Kelly Watzka, an assistant United States attorney, Jason Luzak, who is the defense attorney, one of the members of that team, now arguing to the jury and telling them from their perspectives how they should synthesize, how they should make sense of what the evidence has shown to them, again, beginning Monday and through just this morning, and how you put that all into place. And so it truly is an opportunity for them to argue their cases almost in the literal sense of the word. Not surprisingly, already we've got a lot appropriately taken from exactly what we've heard in the recent days. We've got the prosecution talking again about the geography of what happened here. We're talking about where the arrest team was outside into the hallway, and then these restricted areas inside the chambers and the courtroom itself. Geography a lot. Huge amount Kelly is talking about intent. What was the purpose? What was the motive of this defendant? And she says that is shown by the stairs discussion, among the things, and this general sense of what she was doing physically. Jason already taking up that same argument. And interestingly, going down the road, too, of saying, remember how powerful the government is. That was one of his opening comments here. And that you, members of the jury, are your ultimate check on that, and inviting them to bring that sense of responsibility back into the jury deliberation room.
Before we talk about these closing arguments any further, I want to go back to what went by in the blink of an eye this morning, and that was the defense case. 4 witnesses in 45 minutes before we even got into our live stream, they were done. Of those 4 witnesses, they landed on one person who wasn't even there, who didn't see any of this. It was former Milwaukee Mayor and U.S. Ambassador to Luxembourg, Tom Barrett, now a retiree, and he talked about their 50-year history of knowing each other. He was a character witness. I'm curious what you make of the defense landing on Tom Barrett as its last witness, the last word to the jury before closing arguments.
Right. So former ambassador, former mayor, Tom Barrett, who talks about his lifelong familiarity with the judge, Judge Hannah Dugan, and her family, and says she's extremely honest. She'll tell you how she feels. This is, again, an appropriate part of the defense to humanize this person who is on trial for these very serious offenses, and to let the jury know, consistent with what the defense has always been arguing, that this is a human being who has brought to her role the sense of integrity that plainly he talked about implicitly, and wants to convey to the jury their final statement, if you will, from the defense, that what you have here is not just a jurist who is in a black robe calling balls and strikes, as our Chief Justice might say, but you've got a human being here who has lived in the community and who has that sense of humanity about her. It's not just pulling on the heartstrings, it's also humanizing this defendant. And so an appropriate final witness, even though, as you appropriately pointed out, Brian, it was not in the courtroom and not in the courthouse on April 18th, presumably knows nothing as a fact witness aside from what we know, but does know this defendant. That's the very nature of character evidence under the federal rules, state rules. You can present that. And again, it is a part of this attempt to give the jury an entire sense of this defendant about whom they're going to be making this very, very important decision.